Let's try rearranging the story again. Wonder if it couldn't be something like this. Grandfather fell in unrequited love with a person called Beatrice. Then he could find her in this mansion and continued to court her. She was stubborn and didn't give in. Eventually she grew pessimistic about being able to escape from here and probably committed suicide. And then her soul was put in a homunculus and... No. If I accept that, it's the same as accepting the witch. No, excuse me. I can interpret the part like this. She probably had a posthumous daughter. Grandfather must have believed that her soul had been placed in a new physical body, and might have thought that the child was the reincarnation of Beatrice. That means, at least 19 years ago, Beato existed on this island as the 19th person. Go on.
混乱してきたぜ。いずれにせよ、憶測の域を出ない。確実に赤で言えることは、1967年の六軒島の隠し屋敷に、それだけだ。
その通りで、1967年の六軒島の隠し屋敷に、人間と。
ああ、さ、助かるぜ。
おめでとうございます。これでバトラ様の19人目の駒は、その存在がはっきりしました。バトラ様が熱望された18人以外に罪をなすりつけられる19人目のいかなる罪をもなすりつけることのできる生贄の羊。
Oh, he purposely fucked him up. You know what he did? He's like, here's a scapegoat. But now you'll never know the truth because you're gonna use the scapegoat.
それがお嬢様とは実に愉快。
Everybody laughed indiscreetly. Somehow I didn't like how he put that, so I didn't feel like laughing along with him.
そうだ、ローザおばさんは言った。ベアトリーチェは死んだ。私が殺した。どういう意味なんだ。
それは私の口から語るよりも、実際に顛末を少々時計を進めましょう。
Wee! Clock go brrrr. Arnove pulled a stylish pocket watch from his pocket and touched the watch stem. As soon as he did, I saw gold butterflies gather behind his back and take the form of a person. Was it Beato? I quickly realized that it was someone else. Lucifer? The oldest sister of the Seven Stakes, who loved tormenting more than her 3 meals a day. I don't consider myself lucky to see that sexy ass. I won't be able to keep up with their torture game. Hell yeah. Hey, listen. I can keep up being tortured as long as I get to see some nice asses in the process. You know what? Battler, my guy. What's up? What's good? Bring it in.
まだこちらにおられましたか。ベアトリーチェ様が至急お呼びです。
はって至急のどのようなご用やら。少々バトラ様とのおしゃべりが過ぎたようですね。それではバトラ様、私めはどうか引き続きお嬢様とのゲームをお楽しみください。
せいぜい楽しむぞ。あんたはベアトより話が弾むからな。赤も気前よく使ってくれるしよ。ぜひまたおしゃべりに来いよな。
私めもこう見えてもお嬢様が望まぬことはできませんよ。私が語った赤は本来ならお嬢様が自らの口で語るべきもの。へそを曲げてしまわれたお嬢様に代わって赤き真実を披露したに過ぎません。
やっぱ俺へそを曲げてたよな。
Seeing me and Ronovic incomprehensibly hitting it off, that steak Nissan cocked her head curiously.
ロノウェ様、ベアトリーチェ様をお待たせしてお急ぎを。
直ちに参ります。それではバトラ様、後ほど。ようやく仲良くなれてきましたね。
I'm glad we can both laugh at Beato's misery.
やはり良い友人になれる気がします。
We won't, but appreciate the thought.
ベアとの陰口仲間ってことならな。
ロノウェ様。
はいはい。それでは 失礼いたします。
Maybe she didn't like seeing him act so friendly with me. Maybe she really had been told to hurry. When the Stekne-chan let out a thunderous cry, Ronove laughed frivolously and disappeared, as if running away. Yeah, but now I'm stuck with her. She hasn't left me yet. Go. Yeah, that's what I thought. I knew she was going to stick around and leave like some parting remarks.
煉獄の七杭が長女のこの私がこの程度の用事で呼びつけられるな。ベアトリーチェ様もこの程度なら他の暇そうな妹たちに言いつければいいのに。
何をカリカリしてんだよ姉ちゃん。腹減ってんならクッキーでも食えよ。最後の一枚をくれてやるぜ。
Eat a Snickers. You always try to kill me when you're hungry.
気が利くじゃない。なら一ついただこうかしら。
I casually pushed the snack plate with the last remaining cookie over to her.
ありがとう。
As though coming as a period at the end of a sentence, a sharp sound pierced the table. The nails on 3 of her fingers extended, grew sharp, and pierced the space between my fingers on the hand that was pushing the plate, missing them by a hair's breadth. It happened in an instant, and for a while I didn't even realize that her fingernails had grown. The tips of the sharp nails were like blades with a red manicure. The spaces between the bases of my fingers hurt sharply. Those razor-like blades had been plunged into the table, a hair's breadth away from the back of my hand and my fingers. Because of those 3 blades, I was unable to even let my careless right hand tremble. By now, all I could do was let a bead of cold sweat drip down.
姉ちゃん、そろそろ爪を切った方がいいぜ。
ルシファーよ、それが誇り高き私の名。ベアトリーチェ様にお仕えする名誉ある家具。煉獄の名、他の面汚しな愚昧どもとはわけが違うの。それに見合った敬意を示さないと後悔することになるわよ。
No.
どう後悔するんだか、俺には見当もつかねえぜ。
バカな子ね。そんなに遊んでほしいの？
Hell yeah.
そんなに忘れられないの？私の悔いを思いっきり奥の奥までねじ込んで。
God, you know how to speak my language.
くそったれ、いつか押し倒して同じセリフを言ってやるぜ。
My man.
あらそう？楽しみにしてるわね。
Alright, Rosa. I had forgotten. Rosa eventually regained her calm. The men wanted to hurry her into talking faster, but Kyrie intervened. If something like that really had happened, then it would have been a terrible experience that Rosa wouldn't want to remember. After taking several deep breaths with her hand over her chest, it seemed that she had more or less resolved herself to talk.
あれはいくつの時だったのかしら。多分中学生かよく覚えてない。とにかくそのくらいの頃だったと思うわ。
ってことはだいたい20年くらい前ってとこか。
あの頃の私はあまり成績が良くなくて、
Good.
いつも私なりに努力していたつもりだったんだけど、
Yeah, well, your own way sucks.
お母様の期待には全然応えられなくて。
母上はローザにも随分厳しかったな。当時は同情していたよ。
陰口ばっかだったくせによく言うわね。
Oh.
予算かエヴァ。
Now, lum no, Ava. Pop off. Tearing the Kraus.
それで
They're like, the second person on my fucking shit list is Kraus, alright? So, if Ava wants to tear into him, by all means, go off. If she wants to tear into his wife, that's a different question. I'm gonna have to lay down the law and say, hey, don't do that. But Kraus himself, go off, my man. I mean, my woman. Queen. Do what you gotta do.
ローザさんはどこでベアトリーチェに会ったんや。
秀吉さん、今はせかしてはダメよ。
いいのよローザさん、楽に話して。
ありがとう。あれはお母様に特にひどく叱ら
Well,
れた
that
日
really
よ。
narrows it down. Even though my tutor had promised to keep it a secret. Apparently they told Mother all about how I had complained. Man, even your tutors fucking hate you. You suck. Mother scolded me brutally, saying my name was a disgrace to the Ushiramiya family. It is. Of course I was doing the best I could. Well, your best sucks. But I had none of Krasny-san's dignity. His what? I'm sorry, what? His what now? Mans ain't got none of that. Mans ain't got none of that. Listen, Rosa, I don't think highly of you at all. But just because I don't think highly of you doesn't mean I think highly of that man either. Don't you dare go around saying that man has dignity, alright? Neither of you have any dignity, alright? No dignity. I couldn't get excellent grades like Eva-san. I had no leadership abilities like Rudolf-san. I never stood out, didn't particularly excel at anything. You excel at being a piece of shit. And I found myself asking why I've even been born into the Ushiramiya family. Believe me, the rest of us have been wondering that as well. I began to question more and more why I'd even been born at all. I've been asking that question for a while too. This is what happened on the day I experienced my mind going blank for the first time. For the first time in my life, I realized that in addition to facing or surrendering to my problems, I had the third choice of running away. Ah, you're a coward. Gotcha. Though I say run away, there was no way I could have left Rokkenjima and gone somewhere else. But anyway, I wanted to run away from the mansion, my own self at that time. In a way, I was like a kid running away from home, or maybe a passive sort of suicide. Don't make it sound more than it
いなく
is.
なりたかったの。あるいはいなくなることによって親を心配させたいという子供なりの反抗だったのかも。
Meanwhile, your parents just start fucking partying. The fact that you're gone. Like most people, it's like, oh no, my child didn't come home today. Call the police. There's like one of the servants walks up to them and they're like, ma'am, it would appear that Rosa-sama did not return home from school this evening. And they're just like, fuck yeah! Bring out the bottles. We getting shit-faced tonight. It's a celebration, bitches.
私は森の遥か奥に行けば後宮の家から逃れられる。
Okay.
あるいは迷子になって心配させることで仕返しができると。
Meanwhile, they're just like, yeah, fucking good fucking riddance.
それで行ってはいけないと言われていた森に。
ええ、浜辺へ出てから海に沿うように。特に理由があったわけじゃないけれど、島をぐるりと回ればその反対側には誰も知らない場所があって、私だけの隠れ家になるような気がしたの。
浜辺からぐるっとってのは無理だな。途中で崖になっちまうだろ。あんなとこ通れるわけがね。
もちろんよ。だから通れる方へとにかく奥へ道なんかないひどい森だったけど、あの時の私にはそれが心地よかったの。それほどの険しい森を抜けたなら、その分後宮家から逃れられるって。
情けないわね。成績で叱られたならその分努力すればいいのに。
それを言ってはいかんね。その代わりローザにはデザイナーとしての才能があったじゃないか。
Does she? What evidence is there? Show me. Literally speaking, he was covering for Rosa. But everyone knew that Rosa's company hadn't been profitable.
よせよ。今は嫌味を言ってる場合じゃねえぜ。そして偶然たどり着いちまったんだな、ベアトリーチェの隠し屋敷。
Rosa nodded weakly.
どのくらい歩いたんや。地図で場所が示せるんか。夏さん、この島の地図はあるかいな。
いえ、今ここにはありませんが。
無理よ。適当に歩いただけだもの。 地図を見せられたってわからないわ。それにあれから20年も経ってる。多分森へ行っても二度とたどり着けないわ。
Well, we could always just send you into the forest alone and hope for the best. The best being you don't come back. But I mean, you know, another good scenario is you find the mansion and then let us know where it is. That'd also be pretty okay. Several people let out dejected sighs. It was vividly clear that in their haste, they thought some hint related to the witch's epitaph, or maybe even the gold itself might be resting there.
六軒島はこの屋敷の周りが整地されているだけに過ぎねえ。他は完全に未開で、前頭測量は相当の手間がかかるだろうな。
でも確かに存在すると分かっただけでも収穫よ。お金はかかるだろうけど、例えば航空写真の会社に調査を頼む、このお屋敷を建設した業者に当時のことを聞くとか、調べる方法はあるかもしれないわね。そうね。あるかないかもわからないものを探すよりはまだ方法があるはずよ。
Okay, but like, there's y'all are going off trying to figure out how to find this mansion. Are you forgetting the part where, Rosa claimed that she killed Beatrice, or at least indirectly did so?
早速調べる価値があるだろう。
Could I get a little bit more in that department, please?
その調査は兄弟合同でやるわよ。兄さん一人ではさせないわ。
Of course. It wasn't yet certain that the gold was hidden in that secret mansion, but the sparks seemed to have started flying between Kraus and Ava already.
兄貴たち、今はよせよ。ローザ、続きを話してくれ。
Oh, there's music. I was like, we're just gonna chill at this black screen for a while. Blindly, randomly, I kept running, on and on. Suddenly I came across something I thought was an animal trail. I was very tired and had no idea how far I'd walked. So at that time, I naturally took the easiest path. As I did, suddenly, right before my eyes, a very, very tall fence appeared. It was a fence wonderfully adorned in a Gothic style. For an instant, I thought I'd gotten turned around and returned to the original mansion. Of course, there were fences around the mansion to stop us from entering the forest. But this fence was decorated differently, and moreover, it was very tall. It probably reached a full 2 stories up. Damn, that is a big fucking fence. It was covered with ivy and created a mysterious, solemn atmosphere. At the time, I believed in the legend of the Witch of the Forest, Beatrice. I had been told that she was frightening, but some of the servants told me that she sometimes helped you if you respected her. Since I had little confidence in those days, I believed the only way I could be saved was by receiving her help. That's why I thought what I did. I believed that this was the fence of the mansion belonging to Beatrice, the Witch of the Forest. I thought that if I could meet with Beatrice, she'd definitely save me. So I decided to try going in. But the fence was very, very tall, and it didn't look like I'd be able to go over it. So I chose to walk around it. I thought that if I did, I'd eventually reach a gate. But it wasn't that easy. The fence had an incredible length to match its incredible height, and no matter how far I went, it didn't reach a corner. It might have encircled a massive area. Or maybe I just had that impression because my child's legs made it difficult to walk in the forest. Anyway, I couldn't find a gate for a while, and I started to feel sad as though the witch had rejected me. But then, as I did, I eventually came upon a large tree whose twisted root had bent the fence. It might get my clothes dirty, but if I crawled, it looked like I'd be able to sneak in.
そこが隠し屋敷だったの。
あれが私たちの言う隠し屋敷なのかはわか
I
ら
don't
な
know
い。
if it was the hidden mansion, but it was definitely a mansion that was hidden. I'm not gonna draw any conclusions though.
でも少なくとも
Still, at the very
私た
least,
ちの
it
知る場
was
所では
hidden
なかったわ。
and quite mansion-like. It wasn't as though I came out into a garden as soon as I passed the fence. I had to continue through a lot more uncultivated forest after that. As I did, the forest suddenly opened up, and what appeared there was an unbelievably fantastical scene. To think that in Rokenjima, where I thought only we lived, there could be such a wonderful mansion hidden away. But we don't know for sure if it's the hidden mansion, though. Don't jump to conclusions. A beautiful flower garden spanned the front of the mansion. It was a flower garden of a completely different design from the rose garden we know so well. It was very lovely. Of course, the mansion was also wonderful. It was a couple sizes smaller than ours, but it was still elegant and adorable at the same time. Then, I saw her figure. I saw her sitting in a garden chair, positioned to give a view of the flower garden, wearing an elegant dress. It was that black dress embroidered in gold that we would later know from that portrait. I hadn't seen an elegant dress like that except in fairy tales and on the stage of musicals. For a person to be wearing it as her normal clothes, that in itself seemed quite fantastical. That mysterious scene was enough to make me lose my sense of reality. If someone had told me then that it was a dream, I might have nodded obediently and waited to wake up in my bed. I had forgotten to hide myself in my shock, so she eventually spotted me. At first her expression was quite listless, but when she noticed me, her eyes opened very wide. It was only natural, considering that a guest she didn't know had suddenly appeared. I lowered my head automatically, planning to greet her and apologize for entering without permission. Those were the first words she said to me. I grew slightly calmer, because I realized that we could talk to each other, because I hadn't been turned into a frog just by meeting her eyes, like a terrifying witch in a fairy tale.
ごめんなさい。勝手にお庭に立ち入って。すみません。そなたは名乗るがよい。後宮ローザと言います。後宮。おお、金蔵の一族の人間なのか？え？あ、はい、金蔵の娘です。こんにちは。
I was a little surprised. After all, father was a great man feared by everyone. And yet, she had spoken of him without using honorifics. So I was immediately terrified of her. After all, if she could refer to my fearsome father that way, she must be a witch with incredible power. After staring at me curiously, she beckoned me to come over. Frightened as I was, I obeyed. After all, I thought she might really turn me into a frog. The closer I got, the stronger that fear became. After all, as I kept saying over and over, that woman and her dress, and the flower garden and the mansion, that whole picture was so fantastical and beautiful that it seemed separate from reality. It probably wouldn't have surprised me at all to learn that she really was a witch. And I really was lucky. She hadn't turned me into a frog. As I awkwardly stood there, stock still, she motioned to an open chair and urged me to sit down.
座るがよい。初めて訪れた者を庭へ招き、語らうのがわらわの唯一の楽しみよ。他に何の楽しみもないがな。
As she said this, she let an unhappy smile show for just an instant. Because I was full of a strange mix of tension and excitement, I rudely asked her a question all of a sudden.
森の魔女、ベアトリーチェですか？
いかにも、わらわがベアトリーチェである。